Om Bhurбhuvah Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayantam. Okay, actually so many traditions, by the way, especially Christian one, they speak about humility, but it's very, really you're right that it's very misunderstood quality. And I don't think that this is a quality of the mind, it's a mostly quality of the heart. Because it's not something logical. Because logically speaking, it's nothing to do with humility, but it's a state of consciousness, or the varies consciousness. And it's wonderful that in a Buddhist tradition, for example, where actually when we speak about Kriya Yoga, we are outside of any religion, so easily may mention Christian, Hindu, Jewish, Buddhist, any kind of religion, any kind of tradition. In the Buddhist tradition, they speak about consciousness as something, the location of that is heart. And humility is really is something about heart. And the true yogi, or even more, true master, must be empty. And it's like, my Guru Yogi Rama, who was direct disciple of Mahatma Babaji, he was really empty. Because his point was, you have to establish this inner, from heart to heart contact with Supreme Mahatma Babaji. And it was impossible, absolutely impossible, to worship to Yogi Ramaya. And so the true Guru is really empty, because there is no any point to worship to Guru. Because the point is self-inquiry. The point is awakening of the infinite consciousness in your heart. And unfortunately, especially in modern age, we have tradition which is very evil one, worship to Guru. Nothing spiritual in that. And many people think that this is the most important in spirituality. But this is absolutely unspiritual. Because God is everywhere. Why one person must worship to another person? For what? To get some supernatural power, to get some healing. Yeah, for that it's okay. But spiritual meaning is zero. And that's the reason why when we see all that Oriental and the Western, kind of New Age tradition, New Age Hindu tradition, New Age Buddhist tradition, all the gurus, they like, of course not all gurus, but many of them, anyway, that's the fact, they like to make people worship to them. And humility...
Maybe that gurus, they don't have humbleness, humility.
No, for sure, no humbleness, humility for that, guys. But that's how our spirituality exists right now. And even, Christian priests, which were supposed they have to be very humble. Just instrument in the hands of Jesus. But most of them are very aggressive, etc. So it means to be humble means to be empty. When you see divine consciousness in your heart, but you have to see it in the heart of every human being. And that human being, which is, for example, in front of you, can be nice or can be so-called evil one. But anyway, in the heart of each and every human being, there is a Christ consciousness or Buddha consciousness, which is the same. Or we can call it Krishna consciousness, that's the same. And because of ignorance, because of clouds, mental clouds, people may behave in a very different kinds of improper way. They may behave against you, they do something against you, but really, anyway, they carry this potential of the divine consciousness. So if you are empty, then, okay, you see in yourself and in all people around you this divine potentiality. And then if you so happen that you start to teach, maybe meditation, maybe spirituality of any kind, maybe just yoga, then you're just empty. You're empty means you wish people to be happy. You don't want them to make your disciples. This is a huge question, okay? What does it mean to be disciple, and is it really necessary? Is it really necessary? It's a huge question, actually. Because the point is to learn, to practice, to discover, to awake this absolute reality. So self-inquiry is the point. To become disciple, okay, it means, okay, if it's a proper position, then very rare chance, but normally to be disciple means to be part of this or that system, institution. And when in Autobiography of a Yogi, in this wonderful book, okay, from that book we have a amazing story when Mahatar Babaji, just in front of Lahiri Baba, was just worshipping or washing feet of certain sadhu. And you know, in this situation, doesn't matter what kind of spiritual level or state of mind was, again, for that sadhu. Doesn't matter. Maybe that sadhu was absolutely ignorant, or maybe sage. That's not the question. The question is that his potentiality was anyway absolute consciousness. And it's look like that self-inquiry is, you know, when somebody is discovering or awake this divine consciousness in one's heart, that's not the end. But the next step after that is to see, to be able to see this divine consciousness in the eyes of other people, independently or from like their attitude and behavior. And it's very difficult. And I believe that this very much real, genuine Christian, Buddhist, and finally yogic approach. And that's real Advaita. Because normally people think that Advaita means, okay, I'm going to read a number of books, then I'm going to think, just think intellectually that I'm consciousness, then I'm going to preach to the people. But Advaita means experience, and experience not only which happen about you, but mostly about whatever happened around you. Because the huge exam is, you know, not if you feel bliss. Because sometimes people may chant a lot of bija mantras or practice Kriya Yoga meditation or pranayama and experience this bliss. Or any kind of specials, you know, experiences, sometimes even psychic, not spiritual. But if you're able to see it's everywhere around you, that's real Advaita. So it means there are 4 Mahavakyas. Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, Prajnanam Brahma, Yamatman Brahma. All that 4 Mahavakyas is basically about, okay, I'm consciousness, I'm absolute reality. But since this Aham, this I amness, is everywhere and in each and every human being, then the point is how to see it in somebody else. And of course, for Kriya Yoga, we have Mahadar Babaji, who is the Supreme Guru. Of course, in our age, we have Satya Sai Baba and now Prema Sai Baba as the Supreme Incarnation. By the way, it's very sad that most of the Kriya Yoga traditions, they don't pay attention to that. Most Kriya Yoga ashrams and traditions, they think that, okay, we don't need Sai Baba. For what? We have to practice meditation and see God in our heart. Very childish, because the Lord God, who is incarnating on this planet in the form of Sai Baba, and they ignore him. Just what's happened with the most of the Kriya Yoga traditions, but some Kriya Yoga traditions, they really see the importance of divine incarnation in the form of Sai Baba, because okay, he is a source of grace. He is a source of blessings. So it means if we ignore that, then what kind of meditation we are practicing? Yeah, it's again like, you know, in a time of Satya Sai, and I'm sure in a time of Prema Sai will happen the same. Now, many gurus just say, okay, everything is God, I am God, our ashram is the best, and then to inform his or her students, disciples, you don't need to go to Sai Baba because everything is here. It's very stupid, because no human being, no human guru able to transmit this divine blessings the way how Sai Baba could do it, because that is divine incarnation. And I think that it's a huge question for the Kriya Yoga tradition, is to recognize importance of Sai Baba, and that's also related to the humility of the gurus, and emptiness of the gurus. Because if you point only to yourself, then it means you are pointing to your ego. If you just teach, okay, philosophy, okay, techniques, maybe answering certain questions about spiritual experiences, that's okay, that's what really guru must do. But it's very questionable, you know, is it so that each and every guru is the source of grace, their grace? Not at all. And of course, in the Hindu tradition, we have an ancient Vedic song composed by Adi Shankar, as far as I remember, Guru Stotram. And it goes like Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. And the meaning from Sanskrit, if we translate it, it's like Guru is Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, he is absolute consciousness, he is absolute himself. That's nice, yeah, but then what's happening in modern India, they start to make each and every guru as a kind of god and start to worship to them. And forgetting that actually this is the shloka, this is the mantra about potentiality of each and every human being, and there is no point to worship to somebody. And yeah, that's humility, that's emptiness. When guru is empty, he is pointing to the absolute reality. But what's happened, mostly they worship to themselves and make people to worship to them, yeah. And that's the problem of that guru business is profitable. And you don't want to work, you don't want to produce something useful for the society. The easiest way is to become guru. But to become guru in a real sense, we have to practice meditation. And if somebody is practicing meditation and experiencing absolute consciousness, then all that confusion cannot happen. The people who are in a experience, in a state of divine experience, they don't have this confusion.